Okay.
Jeff got his own YouTube channel.
Yeah. Fat Kids Barbecue.
I like the name of it.
He emailed me and he said we had given him some good advice about starting his own YouTube channel. Well, now he's wanting to get into competition barbecue.
Oh.
So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about how to get into competition barbecue. Just really quick, answer his question here. He was wondering if you had any advice for a newbie. Do you have a checklist of things to bring?
I do have a checklist somewhere.
You do. It's old.
Yeah.
But it could be a good jumping off point.
It's a great, that's what it is. It's kind of like a beginning checklist of things you're going to need.
Any advice for a newbie?
Yeah, I always tell people, go out and first figure out, where the contest is, what organization you're wanting to cook or whatever. If it's a backyard thing, just go have fun with it. But if you're talking about jumping into KCBS or MBN or FBA or
even SCA.
SCA, go out and they offer judging classes all the time. Sign up and take a judging class just so you can go and get used to some of the lingo, see what you're being judged on.
Get in the behind the scenes.
Yeah, you get the behind the scenes. You're going to get to see, you're going to get to
see other people's country.
You're going to get to hear the questions those people are answering. You're going to take a test where they tell you, they give you the general info of what you're judging and all that. And you're going to get to taste some of it. You're going to get to actually judge that. And
you understand the rules.
Yeah, and it's a great day. It's usually low cost. But then that qualifies you to go out to some of the contests and judge them. And I'd say go judge a couple first. Because when you kind of know what you're shooting for, it's easier. If you just jump in blind and don't have an idea, you're just doing it for fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is a lot of fun. And I recommend practice. Now, I run through, when we first started, we were cooking all the time, running our timeline at the house. We were taking notes, writing down. That's how I come up with that checklist. Writing down what we used to cook on, things we needed to have to go back in the house for. All of that went on a list. That way I knew when it come time to load up and go to the contest, I'd already done it. And so I knew there was no surprises. It was just about getting there, cooking the meat, and trying to, do that while you've been hammering beers.
Yeah.
That's the hard part about competition barbecue. Anybody can cook decent barbecue. Can you do it while you're drinking for 24 hours?
And on a timeline. You gotta
on a timeline.
You can't be like, it'll be done in 30 minutes.
No, not everybody goes and we don't drink that much beer to contest.
I could also say that bringing too much stuff to an event is as much trouble and problems as bringing not enough.
It is, because you overwork yourself. And we used to look like the Beverly Hillbillies going down the road. I mean, we'd have everything piled in there, truck hanging off the side, strapped on. Maybe had somebody else's truck loaded down too, bringing sinks and all kind of stuff. That's before we figured out, we need a trailer. But just getting started, you're probably not going to do that. You're just going to do small scale. But I mean, now there's great barbecue classes out there you can take too. And if you want to spend a little more money, I highly suggest doing that.
I'd say do it for you first.
Yeah.
Get your feet wet.
Get your feet wet. But the judging class and going and visiting a few contests and judging a couple is the best way to start, because you kind of see your target. And then you can start practicing. You learn the rules. Then you start practicing to cook towards that. When you think you've got that done, sign up for the contest and go out there and just get through your first one. If I wouldn't expect to get calls. I mean, I never, think you're going to win, because that's just we don't go into them now. We go in trying to cook the best barbecue we can. We get a top 10 in category 2. We're doing great, and then they'll come. The wins will come. That's just how it is. But when you think you got that figured out, boy, your world's really going to be turned upside down. But no, it's a lot of fun, and just don't ever get out of that mindset. To me, if you're trying to do that and to win or for a specific reason other than having a good time, man, it's going to cause a lot of heartache.
So what type of meat does he purchase to compete with?
Well, it depends on what contest you're cooking. If you're cooking SCA, you don't purchase any meat. It's all provided. But so if you're cooking a KCBS contest, got to have your chicken thighs. And a few of the brands,
try to get as fresh as possible. Yeah,
fresh as possible. I like to cook fresh instead of frozen. If I can, it ain't always possible, but that Smart Chicken, Springer Mountain Chicken, those are all, those are good chicken brands that we like to cook. Ribs, I'm Compart guy, but there's some other good brands out there. Prairie Fresh is one of the big ones. Smithfield was, I guess people are still cooking Smithfield. That goes for ribs and pork, and then beef. I'm cooking Kevin's A9s. But you don't have to.
I mean, I've heard guys win with prime.
Yeah, there's people win with prime. People win with choice. I mean, people cook Snake Rivers, Creek Stones. I mean, there's a lot of, good meat suppliers out now. These days, I haven't been cooking contests. I mean, this whole COVID thing's messed us up a bunch and opening the shop up and all that. We hadn't got to cook as many contests, but with the prices of beef and stuff now, I mean, we paid $315 for a daggum whole ribeye this week at Sam's. I mean, I thought that was outrageous.
It was.
But I mean, so I don't know what a brisket at Kroger now is $100. So, and I guess Kevin's still. I didn't ask him if he's still getting briskets. I've got a contest coming up in July, so we'll see.